Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. I always love Tuesdays because we talk to your papa for a little thing we call Tuesdays with Charlie. So we got that coming your way here in a little bit. Listen to this story. This is a bizarre story. A Chicago mail carrier was shot in the thigh for delivering the mail too late.
Okay.
So he apparently wasn't there as soon as the person wanted their mail. So when he got there, the guy shot him in the thigh.
Awesome.
That's not good.
That's
do that.
not good.
That certainly is not going to make him want to come back anytime soon.
Right.
The doctors say he is going to be okay. They think he's going to be fine. But, yeah, that happened in Chicago. Mail was late. Boom. Somebody shot him in the thigh.
It's a good thing that Chicago has such strict gun control laws,
I know.
so things like that won't happen.
Well, I don't know how that happened. They're not supposed to have the guns there, but they somehow snuck that one in. Anyway, coming up, we got some special things happening today. We'll tell you what those are on this first day of March. On the way.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
It's Tuesday, first day of March, and that means only one thing. We got a lot of stuff to get through. It's Peace Corps Day, National Horse Protection Day, Pig Day, Refired Not Retired Day. I don't know what that is. World Compliment Day. Hey, by the way, you look awesome.
Ah, thank you.
Asiatic Fleet Memorial Day today. Daggum That's Good Day. Whatever. Endometriosis Day, Wear Yellow Day, National Peanut Lovers Day, Plan a Solo Vacation Day, St. David's Day, and Zero Discrimination Day. You know, The one thing in there that did sound really good, in addition to peanut lovers, because I'm a peanut lover, I think the vacation thing sounds good, but I don't want to do it solo. I want you to come along. So can we plan a...
Well, I would sure as heck hope you weren't going to take a vacation
duo
on your own.
vacation and plan a solo vacation day?
Sure.
All right, I have to think of someplace fun we can go. Have to be back tomorrow, though, so it can't be very fun. It's a special day. Get out there and celebrate.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. You ever jump in bed and think, boy, it sure would be nice if I had a bovine waterbed?
No.
Me neither. But if you do, if you think it'd be great to have one of those, don't feel so special now because cows are getting their own waterbeds.
Really?
It's the ultimate in bovine comfort.
All right.
Bovine waterbed. It's a waterbed for cows. They're actually getting pretty popular, especially with cows. The idea is based on the belief that comfortable cows produce more milk. So whether that's true or not is yet to be seen, but the cows love their new comfortable waterbeds. John Marshman has installed 75 of these beds in his barn. He says cows are just like everybody else. When they figure out something is more comfortable, then that's where they'll go. Apparently, when a cow gets up from a waterbed, another cow immediately goes over and lays down on it. So they're having quite the deal with
You would
these.
think they'd pop.
Well,
I mean, with their hooves and stuff.
They must be really sturdy waterbeds. I remember when I was a kid, one of the weirdest waterbed stories I have, I got a couple of them. I remember one where there was a waterbed leak that ruined a house. That was bad. But another one was there was a guy that he had moved out and the power was turned off and it was freezing cold. And the waterbed froze.
Oh, funny.
We had to go, move all this stuff out. And the waterbed, it was such a funny-looking thing because when it freezes, it doesn't stay in that shape.
Right.
It bulged up really high in the middle. It looked like a giant pile of something. I was like, what is going on? And it was frozen solid. And then we had to thaw it out and get all the water out of it. But anyway, we didn't have to do that for cows. That was for a guy. These are cows. And they're installing them all over. And it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. A man was going to visit his sweetheart, and he ended up in jail instead. State police say a man was arrested for allegedly driving while intoxicated, and it was his 8th offense. State police sergeant noticed a vehicle with no headlights turned on, and it was coming his direction on a state road near Cleveland. I think this is somewhere in New Mexico, so not the Cleveland, Ohio. The vehicle turned out to be a four-wheeler. Sergeant yelled at the driver to stop, but he kept on driving. The sergeant followed him to a home. There, he noticed a strong scent of alcohol. The man, when he asked what he was doing, said, "I'm going to see my sweetheart." He was booked into the county jail after he failed a sobriety test. Police said they found 14 cans of beer and one in the saddlebags of his four-wheeler. So he had 14 empties, and he still had one left, apparently. So he had quite a bit before he went to see his sweetheart.
Wow.
Yeah, don't do that. That's a
No,
bad idea.
bad idea.
Those are the kind of dumb things that happen when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
You know, this story could have probably been part of our brain on drugs, but it ended up here instead. It says, alcohol and lawn equipment don't mix. St. Cloud, Minnesota, a 24-year-old man was arrested for a DUI while riding a lawnmower. Police found him passed out on the mower. His blood alcohol concentration level was 3 times the legal limit.
Wow.
Neighbors watched the guy as he plowed through yards, climbed over curbs, and did some donuts in front of his yard about 11 p.m. Police Sergeant Jerry Elsbeth says, "I think people find it humorous, but in all reality, it is very serious that he was operating this thing that late at night." He said, "You hear all the time about people being injured on lawnmowers. The fact that he was operating this at 3 times the legal limit has to be taken very seriously."
I can honestly say I've never heard of anybody being injured on a riding lawnmower.
Oh, well, I got all kinds of fun stories to share.
Oh,
then.
you do
No.
not.
No, I don't think I've ever seen anybody get injured on one. But if you're drunk as a skunk and you're driving around on anything, you could get hurt. It's just, that's the way it works. So don't do that. It's a bad idea. Coming your way, we have the scoop of the day. I noticed you're very, very tight-lipped because you're like, well,
I just think it sounds like fun.
there went my plans for tonight. No, that's why I'm the designated driver. So, come on.
I would never operate a motor vehicle, like a
I know.
car.
Thank you.
But
Well,
a lawnmower, I
no.
mean,
No.
outside of getting your lines uneven, I can't
No.
think of too much more trouble
Well,
you can cause.
Now you've heard. We've got your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. An Australian National University study found that people think more creatively while they're lying down. I think that's true. When we're getting ready for bed, we're laying in bed talking.
Yeah, you're very creative when you're lying down.
Which is just stuff. No, I feel like I have a lot of great ideas that pop in. Stop it. We're married. And you're being naughty. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm going to just move on. Google has a thing called Project Loon. Have you heard about this at all?
No.
Google's Project Loon is an experiment which uses balloons. This is a true thing. I'm not making this up. They use balloons to bring high-speed internet access to people, and it's taken flight about a week ago in Sri Lanka. The balloons entered Sri Lanka's airspace a little over a week ago. The government announced over the summer that they had signed a memorandum of understanding with Google, which is now under the parent company Alphabet. The starting of the testing was last week, and the next step will be bringing an internet infrastructure to cover the 25,000 square mile island in the Indian Ocean. But they have the internet there, and it's hovering over their island with balloons. It's called Project Loon.
Alrighty.
I think that's like short for balloon, or is it loon because it's loony? I don't know. I guess you have to
I think
figure
it's
it
a
out.
great idea.
Sounds like something out of a science fiction book. British Labour Union is demanding new workplace health rules for who, Heidi?
I have no idea.
Telemarketers. The unions are saying they're losing their voices because they have to do so much work on the phones. So I'm not sure
Really?
exactly. We talk a lot around here.
Huh.
I haven't lost my voice as much as many of you wish that I would. Recent study from the USA Today found 60% of Americans report feeling angry or irritable. That is up 50% from when the last poll was taken in 2011. So 60% of Americans are just angry. How you doing? Angry. Nice. Well, we'll maybe catch up later. Hey, the real prime time for people with televisions, 9:15 p.m. Nielsen Company said nearly 42% of American adults who have televisions are watching them between 9:15 and 9:30 at night, the highest percentage of the evening. So prime time used to be earlier than that, wasn't it? Or was it later than that? I don't know.
I don't watch TV that late, but
I like how they say 42% of American adults who have televisions. Okay. Is that everybody? I don't know. Maybe
doesn't
not.
everyone?
Must not be. A new forecast on America's obesity crisis has health experts fearing a dramatic jump in healthcare costs if nothing is done to bring this epidemic under control. Now, the new projections warn that 42% of Americans may end up obese by 2030. 11% could be severely obese, adding billions of dollars to healthcare costs. I know I'm in that category of being obese right now. I'm heavier than I'm supposed to be, but I'm working on it, and I'm going to try to get that number down. So I'm going to see if I can be in shape by 2030 to knock their survey number results off.
That's a good
I
goal.
got plenty of time. Hopefully way less than that. From Weymouth, Massachusetts, comes a story of Rebecca Harvey, who was arrested on drunken driving charges. You know, I've had several stories today about
Yes, you
this.
have.
She called her friend Danielle Nix to come and bail her out. So Danielle says, hey, I'll come down there. On her way to the police station, she stopped at a drugstore. Figured I got to get some items. I might as well stop and get them now. 3 bags full of stuff. But when she walked out, she didn't pay for any of it.
Oh, my goodness.
The police were called, and they followed this vehicle all the way with their flashing lights
To
on.
the police
all the way to
station.
her destination, which happens to be the police station. When she got there, she did get to visit with her friend in jail because she was in the cell right next to her.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a bad idea. Anytime, but especially then. You ready for a strange law?
Absolutely.
In the state of Kansas, it is illegal to serve ice cream on cherry pie. So you have
What?
to order those things separately. It's illegal to serve ice cream on cherry pie
All
in the
right.
state of Kansas.
Well, then.
I don't know why. We've got Tuesdays with Charlie coming your way. That right there is a strange law, and this has been your scoop of the day.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. Start earning 6%. Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com right now. What are you waiting for? Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, that's commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.
John and Heidi.
And it's time right now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday just because we can. We pick up the telephone and we call my father-in-law for a little thing we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
How you doing, Charlie?
Not only just because you can, but I'm stupid enough to answer the phone.
Well, I'll tell you, you sound a whole lot better. We had reached out to Charlie last week, and you had some teeth pulled out, or one tooth, or all of them?
Just one.
Just one. Kind of sounded like all of them when we talked to you. Your mouth was full of some cotton, and I think that would have been fun to put you on the radio then.
Well, nobody could have understood me.
Yeah, there you go. Well, what kind of stuff are we going to learn about today, Charlie?
Okay, well, let's see. Well, this first one I think I've told you before, but I'm going to tell you again anyway.
All right.
Let's see. Back in 1910, 10,000 Iowa farmers built 380 miles of road, which was the entire width of the state, in 1 hour on a Saturday morning.
No
What?
kidding.
We can't get that kind of turnaround today.
Not at all.
Well, maybe we should turn it back to farmers.
Yeah,
What-
you know what? I think we should turn a lot of things back over to the farmers.
Oh, to the people at least. So what year was that, Charlie?
1910.
Huh.
That is insane.
And they built a road all the way across Iowa in 1 hour?
1 hour, 10,000 farmers.
Wow. That's amazing.
We should hire them again.
What would you do for the rest of the day? Well, we got everything done in an hour, so...
I got to drink some beer. Hey, then, did you know that Abraham Lincoln created the Secret Service just hours before he was assassinated?
Well, that's too bad. Should have been a couple days so they would have been trained. Maybe they could have stopped that.
Oh, yeah. You're a Secret Service agent. Oh, boom. Hey, then, see here. Oh, in Sweden, it's illegal to name your baby Metalla, Superman, Miranda, or Elvis.
Well,
We've talked about that before. There are some
Yeah,
countries that are making laws that you can't name your kids stupid things.
more and more places where they're outlawing names that are going to get your kid picked on.
I think that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because some of this stuff is really stupid.
Yeah. Who wants to name their kid Superman?
Well, if parents don't care enough about their kids to give them a decent name, then at least the government does a little bit.
Yeah, you dumb. Almost said it.
I was ready with my bleep button.
Hey, then in 2012, French beekeepers could not solve the mystery of blue and green colored honey in their beehives.
No kidding. What was the problem?
Well, they discovered that the bees were visiting a local M&M factory.
Oh, fun!
That's cool.
So, yeah, well, you know what my favorite color M&M is, too, don't you?
Is it green?
Blue.
Oh, geniuses choose green. I should have known better.
So me and them bees, we got something going here.
There you go.
Hey, then Japan has a network of roads that play music as you drive over them at the correct speed.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
So the little lines in the road hum out a song
Yep.
Where is that?
in Japan.
Oh.
I want that now where we live. That sounds like a neat idea.
And it would encourage people to drive the correct speed. If you want to hear the songs, you'd have to drive the speed limit, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Unless you get that heavy rock stuff, you're not going fast enough or something. I don't know. Hey, then I got one last thing for you here.
All right. What's that?
Now, this is a medical fact.
Uh-oh.
You know that blowing smoke up your butt used to be a common cure for many ailments?
You're kidding me.
Oh!
I think you're blowing smoke right now.
Well, for earaches, Grandma and Grandpa used to blow smoke in our ear and then put cotton ball in there right away. So I suppose they probably thought the same thing about the other end.
And that was another word there, but I had to change it to butt.
I appreciate you doing that. I do think I'll Google that to see if that's true, because I doubt it.
Maybe this weekend, you got anything ailing you? We're going to try that.
No. I feel just fine. Thank you very much.
I'll let you try that, Dad. I'm not going to do that.
I feel just fine. Thank you. Hey, you ready for a little trivia question, Charlie?
Whip it on me.
All right. This is a fun one here that was sent in. In the 1950s, Tokyo banned these after they caused several traffic accidents. What is it? I think I might have heard this on Tuesdays with Charlie a few years ago. In the 1950s,
I sure don't remember. I was only
Tokyo-
born in 49.
Well, there you see. You should know this then. Tokyo banned these in the 1950s after they caused several traffic accidents.
The lines that play songs on the road.
No.
I have no idea.
The hula hoop. There were kids on the side of the road with hula hoops. Cars would drive by and stare at what in the world is that? And they would smash into other cars. They caused so many traffic accidents that Tokyo banned hula hoops.
Are you on drugs?
No. That is true.
Really?
It is absolutely true.
That sounds like something I'd come up with, and then you'd be the one on the line saying, "Are you nuts?"
Well, I'm pretty sure that happened a few years ago. I think this is where I learned this. Good
Oh.
stuff, though. Charlie, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for answering when we call.
Yeah.
Bye, Daddy.
Okay, bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can with a little program we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
40. The number 40 is the only number that, if spelled out, has all of its letters in alphabetical order.
Oh, that's
kinda
interesting.
The average elephant weighs less than the average blue whale's tongue.
Really?
Yeah. So the whale's tongue weighs more than an elephant.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So put that into perspective. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Samuel Morse, the guy that created the telegraph and the
Yes.
Morse code, he was also a painter. Many people don't know he was one of America's most successful portrait painters, and he founded the National Academy of Design. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Of the 89 films made by Charlie Chaplin, did you know that 35 of those were made the first year he made movies in 1914? So he did 89 films total. 35 were all made in 1 year.
Did you know that Charlie Chaplin once entered his own look-alike contest and lost?
I did, but disqualified because you didn't say fun fact for you. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
T-shirts were originally developed for the U.S. Navy.
Really?
I'm glad they did that because I like T-shirts. They're pretty nice. Couple of fun facts for you right there on a Tuesday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by RadioReallyWorks.com. I know you're listening to a podcast, but did you know the John and Heidi Show is also a radio show? And for those of you who have businesses, you should consider using radio to advertise your business. We can even help you create some catchy little jingles or amazing radio ads that'll help pull people in. Get all the details or just learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Tuesday. Do you like when I whisper sweet nothings into your ear, Heidi?
Not usually.
You don't like that? I'm like, leave me alone. What are you doing? Get away from me.
You breathe too much when you're talking in my ear. It's like, oh my gosh. Stop it.
Get away. You're creeping me out. Can you go on the other side of the room? Can we talk from there? Well, if men, ladies, if you like to whisper sweet nothings in your loved one's ear, she's my wife, and that's why I do that. It's not just because I'm a creepy coworker. That would be really creepy. You're supposed to make sure you whisper into their left ear. It's nice to hear whispers, but if you're planning on doing it, whisper into your sweetheart's left ear, because according to a man at Sam Houston State University, emotional words get through better to people when spoken through their left ear, not their right ear.
Really?
And if you think about it, it makes sense. Your left brain controls the right side of your body and vice versa. So your right brain is the side that processes your emotions, and since that side is controlled by the left ear, that's the ear you whisper sweet nothings into.
Well, isn't that interesting?
It will be more meaningful to the recipient. It says here, scientists have also found a left ear advantage for stimuli, including musical chords and melodies. So now you know.
There you go.
And I think this does make sense because, quite often, right now, the way we're sitting, you are to my left. So my left ear. So the things you say, I take them and I go, oh, wow, she loves me. And I speak into your right ear. So when I talk to you, you roll your eyes and say, would you please leave me alone? I will get a restraining order if I have to. Pretty much. So I think it could be this. I finally believe the study that we read. All right. That, again, was from Sam Houston State University. Coming up here in a bit, we're going to talk about something that happened at a 7-Eleven in Japan. It's coming up here in a short while. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
Do you remember the old campaign, Oh Thank Heaven It's 7-Eleven? Remember that?
No.
It's been a while back. I haven't heard that in a long time, but that was the headline of this story. The manager of a 7-Eleven store in Japan became very angry with a 70-year-old who came to the store every day only to read magazines. Finally, tired of him loitering without buying anything, the manager kicked the guy out. The man left, but returned a short time later with a chainsaw, which he cranked up and shouted, I'll cut you to pieces. Yeah, he then put the chainsaw down and resumed reading until the police arrived and arrested him.
That is awesome.
70-year-old man. I'm just trying to read magazines, and don't make me go home and get my chainsaw. This truly happened at a 7-Eleven in Japan.
Oh, goodness.
Now, I don't know what surprises me more, that they have 7-Elevens in Japan. That's cool. I didn't know they were there. Or that the 70-year-old man was reading magazines and then went home and got a chainsaw. That's just kind of weird. That's not the first thing I was expecting in that story.
No, not at all.
All right, coming up, we have pleasant dreams to share. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This is really interesting. What you smell before you go to sleep at night could affect your dreams. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Specifically, sniffing something that smells good, like fresh flowers or fragrances, especially things that you like, could help you have pleasant dreams.
Well, that makes from
This comes from a study of the Central Institute of Mental Health in Mannheim, Germany. In the study, those who were, quote, exposed to the scent of roses, end quote, reported having more pleasant dreams than those who were exposed to the scent of rotten eggs.
I would hope so.
Or to those who were exposed to no scent at all. Can you imagine sitting around trying to figure out, hey, let's do a study. Let's have some people smell roses before they go to bed. We'll have the other ones smell rotten eggs. I wonder who's going to have better dreams.
Huh. That makes sense to me. I mean,
it does make sense, but it's common sense. Did they need the study for that? I don't know. I'm just saying I don't think that was study worthy. Coming up here in a bit, going to talk about debt. It's bad for your wallet, but it could be bad for your health as well. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
I remember a few years ago, we took a course to get out of debt.
Yes.
And I'm really glad we did that. So we don't have a ton of debt. We've got, just a few things that we owe money on, but we don't have a pile of credit cards and all that stuff.
No, we don't have any credit cards.
So, yeah, we got rid of all of that. No student loans. And I'm sure you're going, I hope not.
If you've got student loans,
you guys paid for
got
that
screwed.
education. Should demand your money back. No, we don't have any of that stuff. But they say not only is debt bad for your wallet, it could be bad for your health. The Cleveland Clinic reports one of the biggest risks to your overall health could be your credit card balance and other debts that you're carrying around everywhere you go. People who are in debt are much more likely to suffer stomach ulcers, depression, and even heart attacks than people who live within their means. Find out where your money is going by keeping a record of every penny you spend for a month or two. Then look for ways to cut your expenditures. If you're spending too much, don't keep it to yourself. Confide to your spouse. If you're not married, confide to a relative or a close friend and enlist that person's help in getting your finances under control, because it literally could help save your life. There are people that die from heart attacks because they're carrying around all this stuff that they,
That makes sense.
So they're saying this is a really big deal. That's from the Cleveland Clinic. So thank you guys for doing that. I agree with that completely.
I agree completely.
Because I can tell you when we had debt and, when even now when we have things that are of the financial nature to worry about, that you can really lose sleep over that stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
So I don't recommend that to anybody. If you want to do what they're saying in here is cut the debt, and we've been able to cut some expenses. We've gone through our lives and found things.
Trim just about everything we can trim.
Trim to the bone.
Yeah.
So they're like, so would you like something to drink? I have water. Can I have some crackers too? And can I smell the soup of the day? I'm not going to order it. I'm just gonna. Yeah, we're good to go now. Thank you so much. Okay, maybe we haven't cut it that much. Coming up, we do have some good news to share. That is on the way on a Tuesday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. And we always try to end this program with some good news. And I got something here that I think is really kind of a sweet story. One of the world's smallest surviving babies is finally out of the hospital. ABC News said last week that Aliyah Faith Purgas was born 14 weeks early, weighing just 10 ounces.
Oh, wow.
Her doctors believe she could be the smallest surviving baby ever seen at the hospital, and affectionately dubbed her Tater Tot due to her size. Now, after 5 months, she's finally spending her first full day at home. That happened last week. She weighs in now a healthy 5 pounds, 7 ounces.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That is something else.
She started out just 10 ounces, and now she's 5 pounds, 7 ounces.
That's awesome.
That is really cool. I think that's, and it amazes me, modern science, the things that modern medicine, things that we can do now, that would have been impossible just even a few decades ago, maybe even 1 decade ago, would have been impossible to make that happen. So it's really cool to me to see the doctors and nurses and the people that work in that field to they've just made strides to make that kind of thing happen.
That's very cool.
How much did you weigh at birth? Do you remember?
I really don't know.
Because
I know what our kids weighed, but I don't know what I weighed.
Do you want to know? This is one of the most bizarre things ever. Growing up, I'm one of 6 kids, And I remember my mom told me when I was a little kid, she's like, well, you were the heaviest of the babies. You weighed 8 pounds, 10 ounces, whatever it was. And then we were digging through some stuff, and I found my birth certificate, and I weighed 6 pounds, 3 ounces at birth.
Yeah.
And she had me mistaken with somebody else, and how devastated I was, because like my mom didn't even know how much I weighed. She had me confused with Joe. Like, how did that happen? And it's not like I'm trying to get back down to that weight or anything, because it doesn't really matter much. But I just remember thinking, that's kind of weird. Isn't that a weird thing to be?
That is.
I don't know.
That is.
Coming up here in a bit, we've got something else, anything else, because it's time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the good folks at Knowles Systems. If you haven't heard of them, well, you need to listen up, because I got to tell you all about this. If you have funds earning less than 6%, maybe you should check into a better system, like Knowles Systems. They have commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. If you've never heard of a commercial mortgage bridge loan, I'm going to tell you what this is. It's a loan paying 6% to 8%, and it could be just what you need. You're placed in the first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels and apartments and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges. You can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. If you'd like more info on how you can start earning 6% or more right now, call 888-547-8007. I'll give you that number again in a second, but first, you might want to just check out the website if that's easier. commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com or 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
Have you ever wondered if the Leaning Tower of Pizza was ever straight? Pizza? Pizza, not pizza. The Leaning Tower of Pisa. You ever wonder if that was ever, like, straight?
No, it was not ever
says,
straight.
Soon after building started in 1173, that's a long time ago, the foundation of the Pisa Tower settled unevenly. Construction was stopped, and they didn't start working on it again for 100 years. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're like, let's just go work on something else. It became visibly clear that the tower was leaning, and it was tilting to the south. Regular measuring of the tower began in 1911. The top of the tower has moved 1.2 millimeters, so like half of an inch per year. Today, the top of the tower is like 17.4 feet off center.
So sooner or later, is that thing just going to topple?
Well, that was the big question, because there was a bell tower of the Cathedral of Pavana collapsed back in 1989. And when that happened, everybody that works on the Tower of Pisa project, the consortium, they decided we should probably hire some engineers to come and see what we need to do to stabilize this thing. The tower tilted in different directions in its first years, so it's kind of curved like a banana. Engineers are working on the footing of the tower rather than the structure, hoping to ease it back about 8 inches. And so the 800-year-old tower would remain leaning, but it would quit leaning quite as much.
Cool.
Heading to Austin, Texas here, Paul Greer walked into a bank and demanded some money from a teller. He got his cash, and on the way out, grabbed a magazine in the lobby.
Okay.
Decided instead of stealing it and walking out, he sat down and started reading it. He continued to read while the bank employees called the police.
Oh, my God.
He was so engrossed in the magazine that he didn't realize the cops were there. They had to stop him and say, okay, time to go now.
Oh, that is funny.
Yeah. What an idiot. Again, you kind of have to be an idiot to rob a bank, so you don't do that. It's a bad idea. Did you know that men are happier people?
No.
Men are happier than women. Here is the rock solid, unbelievable proof of that. So, nicknames. If Laura, Kate, and Sarah go out for lunch, they'll call each other Laura, Kate, and Sarah. If Mike, Dave, and John go out for lunch, they'll affectionately refer to each other as names like, hey, Fat Boy, and Godzilla, and Four Eyes. So they use little nicknames lovingly. Eating out. When the bill arrives, Mike and Dave and John will each throw in $20. Even if it's only $32.50, none of them will have anything smaller, and they won't admit that they want change back. When the girls get their bills, what happens? Out come the calculators. Let's figure this one out. We're going to get it down to the science, and then we're going to add a tip on there. And I know you're a little cheap, so we're going to add a little extra because I know you're not going to pay it. Money. A man will pay $2 for a $1 item that he needs. A woman will pay $1 for a $2 item she doesn't need.
That's true.
It is true. Bathrooms. A man has 6 items in his bathroom. Toothbrush, toothpaste, shaving cream, razor, bar of soap, and a towel from Walmart. A woman, on the other hand, has 337 items in her bathroom. A man, by the way, couldn't identify more than 20 of them. I just noticed that this morning in our bathroom. I almost brushed my teeth with some sort of facial clay. Yeah, I grabbed
It's
that.
a
I was
mask.
getting ready to squirt it out. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What is this? And I looked at my toothpaste, and I looked back at that. The tubes look so similar, don't they?
It's from the same company.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I almost brushed my teeth with that. Arguments. A woman has the last word in any argument. Anything a man says after the beginning, well, that's really a new argument. So that's the way it works. Cats. Women love cats. Men say they love cats, but when women aren't looking, they kick cats. I don't do that. See, we kind of role reversed on that one.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Success.
I don't kick cats
No.
though either, only because I'm allergic and
You
I don't
would,
want to
though.
swell.
I think you probably would if you get away with it. She's not a fan of cats. I don't know what the deal is. A successful man is one who makes more money than his wife can spend. A successful woman is one who can find such a man. Marriage. A woman marries a man expecting he will change, and he doesn't. A man marries a woman expecting she won't change, but she does. Dressing up. A woman will dress up to go shopping, to water the plants, to empty the bins, to answer the phone, to read a book, to get the mail. A woman will dress up for any of that.
No.
A man will dress up for weddings and funerals, and that's it. Nature. It says men wake up good-looking as they went to bed. Women somehow deteriorate during the night and have to start over. I've noticed that too. You do look good when you wake up in the morning, though.
I was going to say, be very careful what you just said.
I was-
I've noticed that too. Oh, thank you.
No, I'm not saying about you. I'm talking about other people. Other people, yeah.
Other people that you wake up next to every morning.
Moving right along. Back to this list because we're on offspring. Children. A woman knows all about her children. She knows about dentist appointments and romances and best friends, favorite foods, secret fears, hopes, and dreams. A man is vaguely aware of some short people that live in his house.
That's very true as
The
well.
other day, I guessed our daughter's age. I was off by 2 years.
Twice. You guessed a number and then you guessed another number, and
I was
both
like,
times you were
this.
wrong.
And you're like, are you serious? I'm like, I know it's somewhere in that neighborhood.
And another time you asked me how to spell her middle name. I'm like, what?
Well, it's Nicole.
Is there an H in her name? Yeah, there's an H.
But I've seen Nicole, Nicole, and Nichole. And I was like, did we spell hers with an H or without an H? And the answer
Well,
is?
with an H.
Okay, see, I didn't pay attention the first time. That's going to do it for your bonus break. I have some marriage things to work on right now. This bonus break brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you're earning less than 6%, you need a better system. Check out commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.